Whisper of the Worm is still an amazing weapon in Destiny 2. Even with the changes to the White Nail perk and it not being as effective as it was before, this is still a weapon that's going to dominate in a number of different encounters, and for that reason, it is very much worth getting if you don't have it. With that said, I wanted to make a reprised version of my solo guide, especially because there's a lot of new players to this game right now as we head into Shadowkeep. There have been a number of different changes to the armor and weapons during the Season of Opulence, and that's another reason why I wanted to make this updated version for the Whisper solo guide. Now, I will be doing the heroic version. These strategies will apply, of course, to the normal version, but just for the sake of loading into this one right away, I will be using the Whisper heroic. Before we jump into that, I'm going to go over the different setup that I'm using, but I will put timestamps if you guys want to hop in right to the mission itself. So, before I used to use the Sleeper Simulant, but with a lot of changes to that weapon, I'm going to use something different this time. I'll be using a combination of the Hammerhead machine gun from the Forges. I'm going to use the Kilo shotgun in the beginning, and then once I get to the very end, I'll be using the Jotun fusion rifle, and I'll be maintaining the use of the Transfiguration scout rifle. Any scout rifle will work. I just like using this one because I put the Taken Spec on it, and it has explosive payload. As far as the armor goes, you always want to make sure that you have a good matcher from your armor to your weapons. So, making sure that you have things like Machine Gun Scavenger in my case, having Machine Gun Reserves. These are going to be things that really help out using the Hammerhead. Making sure that you have the requisite ammo finders. That's going to be super important because with these missions, you need to make sure you're finding the ammo that you need. Otherwise, you might be in dire straits. This is always important, making sure that you also have some good mods here. So I'm using super mods, I'm using ordnance mods, and I'm also using a couple different Taken mods. So I have the Taken repurposing mod, as well as the Taken armaments. Now, these come from the Last Wish raid, but you can get these from that free raid chest. And there's some amazing videos out there. I know Sweatsickle has an awesome video on how to get some of these Taken mods. You can get them every single week by yourself. So make sure you're taking advantage of that because these are highly effective, not just in this mission, but in many different applications as well. So having a good balance here between the armor that I'm using and having a good balance between the weapons I'm using is going to be really important here. Time is everything, so you want to be able to go through the jumping puzzle as fast as you can. For that, I'll be using the Lion Rampants, and I'll switch to those here as we load in. As a matter of fact, let's load into this right now. If you're having trouble with this mission, guys, I do live streams here on YouTube, so I've helped out at least 500 people get this weapon. So if you guys are having trouble, make sure you pop into those live streams. Obviously, it's easiest if you're subscribed, have notifications on, but also, too, if you're on the Discord, I'll put a link to that in the description as well. I'd love to see you guys come over there and hop in if you're having trouble with this. So, as we fly into the mission, and as the poor loading screens here take a while to load up, I'm going to switch over to the Lion Rampants. These are really good here at going through the jumping puzzle quickly. I know I'm a bit mixed match here as far as shaders go. Last but not least, guys, the reason I'm using Hammerhead is because of the void damage here. Normally I'd be using 21 Delirium, but in this case I'm using Hammerhead because I want to make sure I'm able to take down a lot of the void shields in this. I'm using my Titan Solar subclass, or the Void subclass, because this can do a lot of damage, especially when you pair that in conjunction with the Doom Fang exotic gauntlets. So here we go, we're in the mission right now, and we're not wasting any time. We gotta go fast here. This is all about speed, because that timer is always going to keep going. Now, the one thing I'll say here about the Kilo shotgun is this weapon has gotten a pretty big nerf, and while it's still very effective and still an awesome weapon and one that I'd recommend getting, this, for instance, it now takes 6 shots to break a blight as opposed to 4 shots before. So that's something to keep in mind here. The reason I'm using this is because there's a lot of solar shielded enemies, and even with those changes to it, it's still a great weapon to take down those Taken blights, and you'll see at the very end why that's so important. I do have a video on the jumping part here going very slowly, but for this case here I will go as fast as I can, but I will link that jumping guide because, truth be told, the jumping part here and going fast through this is almost as important as anything else. Now, you can take some more risks here and go a bit faster, but sometimes you want to make sure you get the jump right as opposed to trying to be super cool and impressive. So let's keep going here. We have our work cut out for us because while the jumping part for this might be a bit easier than, say, 0 Hour, I find the final boss room for this to be more difficult than the 0 hour final boss, even though overall I think 0 hour is more difficult. So I'm going to try to cut across here. This jump you really can't make unless you have the Lion Rampants. You need to have the Lion Rampants for that. Or at least I do. Alright, right here, the one thing to be careful of is that thing right there. That can send you flying way off into the abyss. But if you use like the elevator as like a catapult almost, you can kind of jump over it. I find the Titan subclass to be the best for this. I've done this on the other characters. I find the jumping puzzle to be easier on the Titan, and then I also find, because of the Doom Fangs, this can also be really good as far as clearing ads too. So here, the best part for this, honestly, is to go fast. You want to try to go as fast as you can, and if you stop, that can really mess you up. So I know there have been a lot of changes to the exotic armor. For instance, if you're using the Orpheus rigs on the Hunter, those have changed. If you're using something like the Phoenix Protocol, that has changed. So a lot of these things have changed during Opulence. So strategies that you may have used before, you may have to slightly modify those or change them entirely if you're going for this solo. And this is more applicable if you're a new player. Right now, it's a really exciting time for this game because of how many people are getting into the game and how many more people will be getting into it. So, hopefully, if you guys are watching this a couple months from now and it's helpful, please let me know. I do want to say hello and express my gratitude for that. Alright, we're almost at the end here. We're actually going pretty quick, but we're going to need all the time we can get. And the key thing for me here, and I always forget this during the streams, is I need to make sure I switch from my Lion Rampants to my Doom Fangs, because I'm going to use those here pretty early on in this first room. If you can space out your supers effectively, then that will make clearing these rooms out a lot more manageable. Alright, so here we go. You'll notice that I'm not using an exotic here. Normally I'd be using an exotic. Like when I do the streams, I'll use Whisper for these areas. Or I'll use Sleeper or something like that. But I think in this case here, I'm saving some of the exotics to the very end. I want to use my Jotun. Now you could also use the Izanagi's Burden, but that I think it requires a bit more precision. And for the sake of making sure I get this thing done, I'm using... I had to almost panic there. I'm using... Oh, I thought he was down. I thought he was down. That's alright. In this mission, you're going to die. There's no way around it. If you're not dying, that means you're not making enough risk, in my opinion. Sometimes for this, you got to take risks. He's going to get me again. Or not. Thank goodness. Alright, so now we got to get all these little thralls together. So the nice thing about this grenade is if I get enough kills, then I get all my grenade energy back, which is really, really cool. Alright, so that should bring all the other enemies in, and then I'll use my super right here. This is where the Doom Fangs really come in handy, because you can smack these guys pretty effectively. If I'm good, I should be able to actually clear out the entire room here, but that's easier said than done. You have to kind of get lucky sometimes for that. So that was actually really good. Alright, I couldn't ask for a better run right there. That was actually really good. To be able to get down here and get a couple guys taken out with it is awesome. And then this dude, don't play around with him. He will mess you up really quick. Alright, so this room has a lot of void shields in it. So this is where I need to be more cognizant about using the hammerhead. That's why I use that weapon. But first, I want to take out this guy up here. He's kind of my base of operations. If I can take him out... Oh, he got me. That's right, though. I got his buddy down. So I can worry about that guy over there in a second. If I can find where I'm going. Alright, so I want to take down a lot of these void shielded enemies here because they will make my life worse. Ooh, that kind of sucks right there. I lost my grenade, and I don't think I got any heavy ammo back. The Taken Armaments mods are tremendous in this mission. That's alright. There's a special brick right there, and that may not seem like a big deal, but you want to try to save some of those things, to be honest. You want to save some of those for a later time. Like, I don't want to pick those up right away. I want to take advantage of the special ammo finder and scavenger that I have on my armor. I want to maximize the amount I'm getting back. So I'm going to use my super again here, and I should have it back for the very end. You got to space these things out effectively to take full advantage of it. So now I want to take out their heavy hitters. I want to take out the knights here. If I can take out these little underlings, cool. Got to throw a shield at this guy to get some of my super energy back. And that was pretty poor. That was actually a really bad job on my part, but we can recover from it. You want to try to maximize your efficiency there. That was a bad job on my part, but that's alright. We can retool here, as it were. Alright, let's go over there and take out his buddy. See, this is where the Aikilo shotgun is amazing. I also do live streams for this weapon too, guys. So if you need help with that, be happy to help you guys out there. And once cross save comes out, I'm getting smacked by this dude. Once cross save comes out, we'll help out people on Xbox and PC as well. Alright. Enough joking around here. Okay, that was actually really nice to see that right there. The special ammo drop, because now I can be even more liberal right here against this last wizard. Once this guy's down, the portal should open up. Alright. The one thing I'd say too is a lot of times people are like, why are you not using the trench barrel? Sometimes it's faster just to take them down quick as opposed to trying to be perfect. But truth be told, I should probably utilize that a bit more. Take these guys down. Once you take down these goblins here, or move to a certain point, behind you, these guys will show up. So take them guys out right away because they will beat you up pretty fast. Alright, so that was actually pretty good. I think there may be some special ammo back here. Yeah, we have full special ammo, full heavy. This is actually really, really good. And I have my super back. I'm going to take down some of these guys here because we're not in a huge rush right now. Obviously, time is still working against us, but to be honest, we've gone pretty fast here and gotten really lucky with our drops. A lot of it depends on your ammo drops. Sometimes I'll take these guys out, like if I didn't have enough ammo, take these guys out to hopefully drop some good stuff. Or to get your super fully charged. Alright, so now we're going to drop down here. I'm going to use my Aikilo still, but I want to switch to Jotun as soon as I take down these blights and use my super. So I want to take down this blight, and then the one way back here, which we're going to go to first. Taking out these three is essential. You have to take down these ones. Because otherwise the three bosses are going to hide in those, and it's going to make your life a lot more difficult. So even with a lot of the changes here, and don't worry if you die right here, not a big deal. Even with a lot of the changes to the exotic armor, you can still utilize a lot of your same things here. The one thing I'd say is if you're relying on something like Sleeper or even the Thunderlord, I think there's better options right now with some of the new introductions and some of the changes. Alright, so now that those are taken out, I want to retreat back here for just a second. Plan my attack. Now the key thing here is I gotta take these guys down. These guys, the Centurions, they have the arc shields, and you can see I don't have any arc weapons here. So I'm taking full advantage of, and I'm relying in many ways on my super to take these guys down. Because if I don't, then it's going to be a lot more difficult to take these guys out without having any void capabilities. Alright, so those guys are down. The bosses are coming in. I don't need my Aikilos anymore. What I need now is my Jotun, so I'm going to switch to that. And I do have some special bricks up top, which I can take advantage of once I run out, because it's not going to be enough to take these guys down. Alright, so Jotun has some tracking to it, but I should probably get up a little bit closer. Normally I'd stay back up here, but I want to get as many shots as I can on this dude. And Jotun just does mega damage here. I mean, 5 shots took down about almost a third of his health. Not quite a third, but a decent... Yeah, actually a third exactly. So you need 15 shots basically to kill this guy. That's pretty nuts. Now, easier said than done because he starts throwing that crazy stuff at you. And it's easy to get all sorts of discombobulated. Take him down. That's right. Dying here is not a big deal because hopefully it spawns me up top and I can grab that special ammo. Yeah, perfect. Now the one thing here is on my armor I did not have any fusion rifle scavenger. So that's actually a little bit of a downside. That's an inefficiency on my part, but you guys are better than me and you guys will not make that same mistake. So the thing here is if I try this shot right there, you saw I missed 2 of them. That was actually really, really ineffective. The one thing I could do is actually go down to the very bottom and hide in some of the catacombs back there to avoid making that same mistake again. But once I take down the captain, that should make things a little bit easier. And you know what? We're going to actually head down here right now. And maybe, if I'm lucky, get a grenade kill on one of these dudes and they'll drop some special ammo. Doesn't look like it. That's kind of unfortunate. I will at the very end. I'll have my super again too, and that's like my last ditch resort. Alright, so he's down. One guy's down. We have 6 minutes to go. We're making great time. If you don't have the Jotun fusion rifle, then I think your options become a bit more limited. You guys see how much damage this thing's doing. Now, I haven't used my heavy ammo until right now, so I can take advantage of that, but you can see here it's not doing anywhere near as much damage as the Jotun did. I'm trying to think here, if you don't have Jotun, Izanagi's Burden would be a good option, because that's going to do massive damage versus these guys, especially with the Catalyst. If you have that, it'll do crazy damage. If you don't have Izanagi's Burden or Jotun, then I'd say Thunderlord. That would probably be your next best option. If you don't have that, then Sleeper. And if you don't have that, man, at that point, then your options are super limited here as far as your exotics go. And I'd be curious of what you guys think. In that scenario, if you don't have all these weapons, what would you guys be using? Alright, so now I actually want to get a grenade kill. I want to get a grenade kill to get more heavy ammo, and also, too, to maybe get some special ammo, because I need the Jotun to come through in the clutch here. There we go. Really clutch, got 2 of them. And I got my super back, and I have 15 shots for Jotun, so now I'm in really good position. Alright, so the biggest risk here, to be honest, with Jotun, is the tracking could go after somebody else, and we don't want that. We want to go after our familiar Destiny 1 bosses. So let's get up here a little bit closer. We're just going to fire into the abyss and hope for the best. This is why I think this final boss room is way more difficult than 0 Hours. 0 Hours is a lot more predictable. There's just so much madness and chaos that it's very easy to get flustered and thrown into a downward cyclical spiral. Alright, so he's almost down. I'm almost out of Jotun ammo though. I should have enough to take this guy out, and that should at least, at the very least, clear things up as far as... Ouch, that hurt. Clear things up as far as all that fire goes. Maybe I can make a hero play with a grenade. Probably not. I totally missed him. It didn't even hit him at all. It was the exact opposite of a hero player. That's right. I'm sure people will notice that. Alright, let's keep going. We have 12 shots now. Golly, this guy's throwing all these little void bombs at me. I mean, even though we won fast, guys, I mean, like, this is going to come down to the wire. A lot of it is because of my poor play. But make no mistake, I mean, this is a final. This final boss room is tough. I do have my super, though. The key thing with my super is I don't want to use it when I'm not at full health. I got to be at full health because I'm going to get smacked as soon as I go out there. That's right. I think we used up all of our special ammo. Maybe one shot left. That was so bad. Alright, here we go. We're going down there. He's kind of far away. But this should be able to do a lot of damage against him. And again, this is our last-ditch effort. You use this as your final chance, your final attempt to take down his health. We're kind of melting him really quick. I think we can get him really fast here. Alright, so we got him down with just about 2.5 minutes left. There was a lot of room for improvement there, so don't be afraid, like, oh man, you know, can I do it? Yeah, you guys can definitely do it. So just work at it, practice at it. A lot of it is your ammo drops, but you want to take full advantage of things like Special Ammo Finder and Scavenger to maximize what you're getting back. But it is very much possible with the armor changes here during Opulence to still get Whisper of the Worm. Again, guys, thank you so much for watching. I look forward to seeing you guys in future live streams. And best of luck getting Whisper. Let me know as soon as you get it, and we'll see you guys soon. See ya.